these missiles a long time ago. You didn't have documentaries say they had the nuclear missiles long time ago. You know, and then at one point they saying they destroyed the missiles. Okay, then they didn't destroy the missiles. Esau is confused. He got to keep everybody up out of the loop. You know, but nonetheless, when it's time for them to shoot them nuclear missiles upon this place, they're gonna be shot. Man. You know. All right. It says in Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 30 again. It says also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them. And they've been showing their great power to a certain extent. Their missile systems, their missiles have been being shot upon various countries over there that's aiding in the U.S. And they haven't even used the best missiles yet. You know, it says join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. The dragons is them Iranians. They are by nature wild men. You know? And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them, to persecute who? The USA. These then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them, and in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Right, it says from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them. They're gonna besiege them by way of thermonuclear missiles. Them Arabs and them so-called Carmanians, them so-called Iranians are going to shoot nuclear missiles upon America. This Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 1. And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against God, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord God Yahweh, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief priest, prince of Meshech and Tubal. Right, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm prophesying against Russia. Gog in the land of Magog is talking about them so-called Russians. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, basically bringing that former USSR spirit upon them Russians. That they hated the USA in them days. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Right, this is the Russians and their military power, military might, and they already shown you their military might with this Ukraine battle. But they got way more advanced systems that they are not using. So they trying to preserve Ukraine. They don't want to just take it all the way out, take it all the way down, and kill all the people off. That's why they haven't went extremely hard on the place. But them and their army is eventually gonna lock horns with the USA and Israel. It says Persia, because this verse 5. Persia, they go them Persians again. That's them Carmanians, them Iranians, gonna be with Russia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, right, weaponry. Gomer and all his bands, and the house of Togomar of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Right, there's going to be many nations that's going to side with them Russians in the aid to help to fight against the USA. Right now, it looks like the former days with USR nations versus America and her allies. Russia and her allies versus America and her allies, because history repeats itself. Bear with me. Hold on, bear with me. Trying to get speed it up, trying to get the point, because this was during World War II. What you see playing out now is like the Cold War slash World War II. Okay. Okay, so this is the Cold. It says the USSR and the USA were two defining superpowers of the Cold War, engaging in a fierce, decades-long ideological and geopolitical rivalry. Following World War II, the standoff, which lasted from roughly 1945 to the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, centered on a fundamental clash of systems: American democratic capitalism versus Soviet communism. All right. It says primary battlegrounds because direct military conflict between the two nuclear armed superpowers was too devastating to contemplate. Their rivalry took alternative forms. The arms race, a continuous buildup of conventional and nuclear arsenals, creating a doctrinal of mutual assured destruction. And that's going on right now again. The arms race. The space race, a technological competition to demonstrate ideological superiority, highlighted by the Soviet launch of Sputnik and the U.S. Apollo moon landings. And you see that going on right now. Shit. Damn, I didn't look all the way into it, but just yesterday, what's his name? Elon Musk just became a trillionaire for launching. Uh, I'm gonna get it in a second. Let me finish this. It says, proxy wars. Both nations back opposing sides. You see that going on right now. The Russians back Iran. Who else they back? They back Libya. Was it Libya? Or was it Syria? The Syrian president. But they got him up out of there. Now it's Iran and the U.S. into it. Who just they just made a deal with the Taliban. That's the Arab countries. More Arab countries gonna help fight in this battle, the Ishmaelites. And then the U.S. Is backing Israel, um, and they got their allies. Their allies ain't really only helping shoot down missiles, but it's repeating itself to a certain degree. It says proxy wars. Both nations back opposing sides in regional conflicts across the globe to expand their spheres of influence, e.g., the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. Oh, the Russians back North Korea. North Korea sent 10,000 plus troops down there to help fight in that war. So yeah, we see what we see now playing out is the Cold War. Uh, all right, it wasn't World War II. Slovakia. That was the Cold War. You see, the Cold World War is playing out again. every part of it right now. All right, so yeah, so this is back to Ezekiel chapter 38. It says,